students. It's Mr. Sargent here with your day 139 recap video for ELA and for science. Now, in ELA today and in science, we're going to focus on one word. Pretty easy, right? Well, the word is problem, and it is one of our spelling words for this week, isn't it? We're going to be talking about problems in the story that we've read, Separate is Never Equal. We're going to be figuring out some compound word problems today. And in science, we're going to be talking about cause and effect, but we're going to try to solve some problems about pollution, littering, and how we can help. So, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you have your problem-solving hat on, your cape on, and we're ready to be problem-solving superheroes together. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's sit back and let's get started. Now, we know that problem is one of our spelling words this week. P-R-O-B-L-E-M. Spelling test tomorrow. We know because you studied, it won't be a problem. But when we talk about a problem, well, think about math. 2 plus 2. Well, what are you supposed to do? That's a problem, isn't it? I heard a lot of people say 4. Very good. You were able to solve that problem. Now, that problem right there, super easy. The problems that we saw in Separate is Never Equal, not as easy to solve, are they? So what we wanted to do today was identify problems and look for solutions. We want to look at these problems and see how they solved them in the story. So the first thing that we did was we reviewed. We took a look at our scape chart right here. And first of all, we know the setting. The setting is California. Very good. What years? 1944. Very good. 1944 to 1947. It's got a 3-year time span, doesn't it? All right. Could we also name the name of the schools? Yes, we have Westminster School. We have Hoover Elementary, which is the Mexican school. All right. Then we have characters. Now, I love the characters in this story, ladies and gentlemen. Some of them are not the problem. We got Sylvia is our main character. We have Sylvia's dad, Mr. Mendez. We have Sylvia's mom, Mrs. Mendez. We have the lawyer, Mr. Marcus. We have the brothers. We have Aunt Soledad. We have Virginia and Emily. I think her name was Emily. I think it was. But those aren't main characters, are they? We're really focusing on Sylvia, Mr. Mendez, and Mr. Marcus. Now, we also have other characters that kind of cause some of the problems. They can't really help it back then, and that's the superintendents of the schools and the school board. We also mentioned the other lawyers. We mentioned the judges. Listen, when we're talking about characters, we need to identify the difference between main character and supporting character. That's a problem we have to face, isn't it? But we've already solved it. We found our main characters. Now, after we do characters, we have our action. We know what happens. So we're going to skip over the action and go right to the problem. Now, the easy problem to see is that Sylvia and her brothers were not allowed to go to Westminster Academy or Westminster School. That's the easy problem. Not easy to solve. Well, we could think of a solution. Just let them in. That makes sense to us, doesn't it? But in 1944, it wasn't that easy, was it? I want you to think of how they solved that problem. Well, Mr. Mendez hired Mr. Marcus. They had to go to court. They had to wait and wait and wait. And does anyone out there know how long they waited? Very good. Even though the trial only lasted 5 days, it took the judge a year to make the decision. And then even after that, the school board appealed it, which means they didn't agree with the decision. So they had to wait even longer. See, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes problems don't have easy solutions, do they? Sometimes it takes time. And after 3 years, Sylvia was allowed, and her brothers were allowed to go to Westminster School. Now, when I think about that, that's 3 years to solve a problem. I want you to think about if you had to solve a math problem that took you 3 years, do you have the patience to solve it? That's a tough problem to solve, isn't it? Now, as we look in this book, That wasn't the only problem of the story. So what I want you to do today, ladies and gentlemen, is go through the story again. You can find it on Epic. And I want you to identify what are the other problems of this story. I'm going to give you a hint. Hoover Elementary, the school that Soledad and her brothers first got sent to. What's the problem with that school? And I can't wait to hear your answers. Now, I don't want just your answers. I also want your solutions to the problem. How can we solve the other problems of this story? Once again, I look forward to seeing your answers. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we focused on the problems of compound words. Now, as you remember from Monday, compound words are two words put together. Rainbow. There we go. Make a rainbow, don't we? But today, we're starting with our compound. We got the problem of starting with the compound word, rainbow. And then we have to go in reverse, and there it is. We need to look at a word and see what two words make up that word. So if you see today's activity, there it is, you will see a number of examples. There are 10 problems to do. Now let's take a look at the first one. The first one's already done for you. And if you take a look, we have the word backpack. All right, everyone carries a backpack nowadays. Take a look. What two words make up backpack? Back and pack. Very good. So for today's activity, you have the problem of separating a compound word. There are 10 examples, and I know you're going to do your best, and I know you're going to do awesome. For science today, we, once again, theme of problems, ladies and gentlemen. We have been talking for the past couple of weeks, the problem of pollution, the problem of littering, the problem of trash, and what we can do to solve that problem. Now, we started by talking about things that we could do with plastic bottles, things that we could do with paper, things that we could do with other things. But having a plastic bottle, having paper isn't really the problem, is it? The problem is what we do with it. Now, on our cause and effect chart, which you will see, boop, here, you will see I've come up with 3 different problems. Now, these are the causes. We have the first problem you see is people throwing their fast food wrappers and things that they eat in the car out the window when they're driving. That's a big problem, especially if you've ever walked down the street and you've just seen garbage lying on the ground. That's the cause. The effect over there, and it's not just one effect. You got to look at it this way. The effect of that is dirty neighborhoods, pollution, animals may get into it. Now I want you to think, how can we solve this problem? Every problem has a solution, doesn't it? Now, if you look at the other causes here, we have leaving our candy wrappers and our snack wrappers out at recess. Now, that's not just bad for the environment, that's bad for how our school looks. So I want you to think of a solution for that problem. And finally, the last one, I'm just gonna leave right up there. People not recycling. What can that eventually lead to? Ladies and gentlemen, fill out this activity. And once again, I cannot wait to see your answers. I want to thank all my problem solvers out there. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Ty Lin. Ty Lin is celebrating his birthday today. Ty Lin, thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being a great science mind and having so much energy in class. I love it. And I hope you have an incredible birthday. Now, for everybody else, you're awesome too. And I cannot wait to see each and every one of you tomorrow. So ladies and gentlemen, until then, have a great night.